On this week's episode, I have Deadpool Assassin, Batman, Infinity Wars, Extermination, and a new segment I like to call The Spotlight. Strap yourselves in if you dare, and grab your butts. 'Cause here we go. Hello, one and all. Thank you for returning another week. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Let's go ahead and kick off some comic books this week, huh? Things are going to be a little bit shorter for the comic books this week. I like to try a little something with y'all. I've got a new segment coming up later, and I kind of like to see just how it's going to work for time. So, let's get this thing started with Deadpool Assassin, issue number 5. Yeah. So Deadpool and most of his fellow mercs have begun an assault on the Assassin's Guild because, of course, they've, pissed off Deadpool because the Assassin's Guild came after his friends and family, and because Deadpool pissed off the Assassin's Guild, and it's a whole thing. But their leader, Belladonna, has been holding back the full brunt of her forces. It's then up to Deadpool to finish off the rest of the guild by himself because his mercs really don't last very long against the majority of the assassins. Oops. Elsewhere, Deadpool's friends are in hiding, but the guild has managed to find them, and in the chaos and all the death and the shooting and the Weasel gets killed. Womp. I know. The Weasel. Everybody loves a good Weasel. But hey, shit happens. His wife gets taken by Deadpool's supposed ally, Threndy, and she's got some sort of nefarious plan of her own going on. So, yeah, it's not working out very well for Deadpool right now, sadly enough. Next up, we've got a Batman. It's Batman issue 53. I know. Look, okay, you gotta. I'll admit, the main Batman title has been giving me a lot of grief, but for the last year, really. And it basically just continues this week. Bruce is still pulling the whole jury duty thing, and it's basically come down to the whole thing that Bruce thinks that Batman was wrong for going after Freeze for committing murders, that he believes now that Freeze didn't actually commit, and he feels like he may have actually coerced Freeze into confessing to these murders he didn't commit. So now he's in the jury room trying to convince everybody else that Freeze didn't actually commit these murders, and it comes down to a whole spiritual thing, and he flips it, he totally just mind fucks the entire jury. That's what happens. Basically, the entire jury is all he's totally guilty, and then Bruce comes in and just when all is said and done, of course, the verdict is not guilty. Freeze is set free, and for some reason now Batman needs to find himself again. I know, I don't quite get it my damn self, but I'm thinking Batman needs to go away. Batman and Green Lanterns just need to. I'm thinking they're just gonna end up off of my list because I can't take it anymore. I really can't. Let's move on, huh? Thank you. Infinity Wars issue number 2. So, Gamora's begun her attack on the new Infinity Watch with the Power Stone in this sword she had forged in order to get her hands on the Soul Stone. Using the power of the Time Stone, Strange saves Quill from Gamora, which, last issue everybody was like, Quill died, which was weird because I figured everybody would have been more like, Quill died. But, it's not MCU Quill, so whatever. And then he opens a portal to remove Turk and the Mind Stone from the area, so they're safe, quote, for the time being. As for the rest of Infinity Watch tries to stop Gamora, the Avengers arrive to help. But because Gamora has the Power Stone one by one, Gamora just, kicks the crap out of everybody. She gets the Reality Stone from Captain Marvel, then the Time Stone from Doctor Strange, and the Space Stone from Black Widow by using the Time Stone to stop Black Widow in her tracks. And she does manage to cut off Adam Warlock's head, which, of course, for those of you who know, Adam Warlock actually, that wouldn't kill him, it would just cause him to go into a little cocoon to heal. So she manages to get the Time Stone, the Reality Stone, and the Space Stone. And then, of course, she uses all of those to open the Soul Stone to release the missing part of her soul, I guess? I know. And then Loki arrives from absolutely out of nowhere to strike a deal with her. I guess this issue really just kind of felt like a giant, just flat-out brawl, and just... yeah, it just kind of ended like that. I don't really know, but, to be honest with you, she has the Power Stone, and she's already powerful enough as it is. So, it just, well, she already killed Thanos, and isn't that enough? I guess it should be. It would be. You would think it would be, but no, it's really not. So, next up, we have the latest installment of the ginormous thing to happen to the X-Men. I know, right? It almost feels as if this just happens on the regular, almost for the sake of happening, I guess. But this is Extermination. That wasn't a joke. That was just a bad pun. You were supposed to go, thank you. So, I don't... that's not even funny. We're talking about the extinction of the mutant race, the extermination. I'm just going to stop saying it. Okay, so getting off into the book, 20 years from now, the X-Men lay dead. Of course, because that always happens. It's always how these things kind of start out. The X-Men are all dead. And a single soldier must now go back in time to kind of fix everything. And in the present, the young X-Men have just saved a pair of young mutants from an anti-mutant mob, because that never happens. And they bring them back to the mansion. After that, they decide they need some R&R, and Cyclops and Bloodstorm go out on a date where they are attacked by a man named Ahab and his mutant hounds. Now, for a little bit of background, this guy Ahab is actually from the future himself, as are his hounds, and these hounds track down mutants. Rachel Gray, who is in the present, currently used to be one of these hounds, and so yeah, there's a lot that's going to be going on here. So bear with me for a minute. Now, when Ahab and these hounds attack Cyclops and Bloodstorm, Ahab does actually manage to kill Bloodstorm. Kill Bloodstorm, because of course the future's just littered with vampires, and he keeps his spear laced with silver at all times for just such an emergency. The guy must have been a Boy Scout or something growing up. I don't know. So everybody gets called back to the mansion, and on the way, Bobby is attacked by another individual, this original future soldier we saw come back in time. During the attack, Cable shows up to help Bobby, but Cable gets killed by this future soldier. So Cable is now dead, and Bobby is taken prisoner. That's right. Cable's death, of course, brings everyone together, even the newly resurrected older Jean Grey, and, she came up out of Atlantis, because psychic screaming things were going on, and everyone vows to, get revenge, vengeance is mine, rah, and, or soon will be, anyway. That's when we see Bobby in a facility laying in a stasis pod, and we meet his captor, Cable. That's right. A younger version of Cable has come back in time and killed his older self. A younger version of Cable has come back in time and killed his older self. Killed his older self. Yeah. I don't even know where they come up with this stuff anymore. I really don't. Oh, wait. No, they just use rehash storylines again and again and again and again and again. It's... I don't know. You get... I don't even know. I don't know where to get this, and then, that, and a little bit of this. I don't even know. So, yeah, that's all the comic books I'm going to talk about for this week. Let's go ahead and move on to my new segment called The Spotlight. So this new segment, if you're still here, which none of you are, this new segment, I basically am going to be spotlighting a comic book character. And I'll just kind of give you background leading up to kind of where this character is, or isn't, rather, currently in the comic book universe. It could be from anybody. It could be DC, Image, Marvel, Boom Studios. It just doesn't really matter. I will just weekly randomly pick a character. And because Infinity War was released on DVD this week, I figured I would do an Avenger, right? And who doesn't want to do Natasha Romanoff? So, yes, I meant that the way I said it. Shh. Don't tell my wife. So, spotlight on Natasha Romanoff. So, her first appearance was in Tales of Suspense 52 in April of 1964, and she was actually done as a Russian spy. I know, right? Shock, because nobody knew that. But most of you probably don't know is that she was a Russian spy and an antagonist to Iron Man. I actually didn't know it was Iron Man. But, I figured she was just a Russian spy. Just, things happen. During her training in the Black Widow Ops program, she trained under and even romanced Winter Soldier. So she was training under him and just being under him at times. Alright, fine, I won't do that again. And that was the wrong sound effect, by the way. That wasn't what I was going to cut it. On her first mission to the U.S., she meets and recruits the criminal Hawkeye. Yes, the criminal Hawkeye. Hawkeye used to be a criminal. Womp. And she recruits him to help her battle Iron Man. During her time with Hawkeye, of course, she falls for him and defects from Russia. So thank you, Hawkeye, for bringing Natasha to the fold. Of course, for those of you who saw Avengers, you knew that already. She began as a freelancer with S.H.I.E.L.D., where she paired with the likes of Daredevil, Spider-Man, and Shang-Chi. Later, she moves to Los Angeles to become leader of the Champions. During the Marvel Civil War, she joined Iron Man and is made director of S.H.I.E.L.D. after Nick Fury is assumed dead. She's later made leader of the Thunderbolts after the Skrull invasion. And later, Captain America makes her leader of the Secret Avengers. She gets around the block. Oh, it gets better. During Secret Wars, she is killed trying to save the last of humanity, as I believe pretty much everyone was. So, reboot. Now we're during Secret Empire. She leads the rebellion against Hydra and is killed by Steve-O Rogers in the final battle. Currently, the Black Widow is alive, but through an investigation by Winter Soldier and Hawkeye, we find out that she is actually a clone, and thanks to the newly resurrected Logan, is the keeper of the Space Stone. Although, since Infinity Wars issue 2 just happened, he doesn't have that stone anymore. So, yeah, Right. Yeah. So, yeah, that, just a little spotlight on a little character, maybe some things you didn't know about Natasha Romanoff, aka the Black Widow. So, that is it for this week's episode. Short, sweet, to the point. Maybe keep it this way, possibly. Maybe a little bit longer of an episode. Maybe I'll review a few more comic books next week. We'll see how things go. The stack is definitely going to be bigger next week. The stack has been kind of small for the last couple of weeks. And a lot of books have been aggravating me. So you're bringing them up will just channel bad things. Kind of like Batman did. No more Batman. I promise. Never again will I review a Batman book for you guys. I'll make that vow to you right now. So that's it for this week's episode. Until next week.